Hey, what's going on, team? It's Ricky with Technical Solutions. I hope that you guys had an absolute amazing trading week. This week alone, I made a little bit over $9,000 profit. And in comparison to the previous week, where I made a little bit over $12,000. Altogether, in the past 2 weeks, I made a little bit over $21,000 profit. One of the things that I wanted to do is compare both weeks. So I think one of the amazing things that we do as day traders is that it's not even just on a weekly basis, but it's on an everyday basis. That every day is literally a new challenge and a time where we really need to challenge ourselves to seek opportunity. Every day comes with its own obstacles in which that we have to manage, not only on the risk side, but to make sure that we correctly decide which trades are actually worth taking and of course which ones are not. So one of the things that I wanted to do is I wanted to compare both weeks in comparison to last week of trading, where I made a little bit over $12,000 profit, in comparison to this week where I made barely a little bit over $9,000 profit. I'm very grateful with how both weeks have played out. They've been very, very successful, very, very consistent, and I'm very grateful for them. But there is a difference, right? And one of my biggest takeaways from last week of trading, again, I really, as you guys can most likely see, is I made a majority of my money this week trading DGAS, just like I did the week before. But one of the things that I began to see is I focus a lot on natural gas, and the market midweek this week, due to the unemployment report and the stimulus package, it began to uptrend. And this is not something that happened the week prior. The week prior, the market was aggressively selling off. I was aggressively making more money off of DGAS as the direction was super clear on natural gas. When natural gas sells off, DGAS goes up. In comparison to this week, I really struggled both yesterday, which was Thursday, and on Wednesday. Wednesday, I pretty much just saw so much consolidation. It wasn't clearly uptrending, it wasn't clearly downtrending. It was very inconsistent, and I still walked away with a little bit over $1,200 profit. In comparison to yesterday, I made a little bit over $1,000 profit, but again, I went from red to green. And one of the things that I wanted to share with you, it's so much easier to make money in the stock market. It's not easy, but it's so much easier when you focus on direction and when direction is clear. This is something that obviously is not always consistent, and this is where the really challenging part is, especially as day traders. Investors, swing traders, they are, comfortable trading from time to time and being patient. For us day traders, at least for myself, and I'm just speaking from my own experience, is I have just really struggled sometimes to not take a trade, and I have really learned the importance of quality versus quantity, right? And it comes down to the simple idea that when direction is not super clear, we have to understand that we're not working a 9-to-5 job, right? Just because I input and I invest hours of my day doesn't mean that I'll receive a direct output of pay. I could even lose money. And that's the very unfortunate part. Every time that you put money into a trade, there is some form of risk. And one of the things that we have to revisit every single time that we are about to take a trade is the risk to reward ratio, and which trades are worth taking in comparison to which ones are not. And I think essentially, although that this was a very successful trading week for myself, I am borderline at almost $100,000 for my overall trading account. I've been absolutely killing it for the past 4 weeks, and it's been just such a blessing that I've been able to uplift myself even with current market conditions. And this is just a perfect example of, there is so many ways on how to make money in the stock market as the stock market is selling off. Just because the market is crashing, there's ETFs and there's stocks that go up when the market goes down. All it means is that you have to take time to inform yourself where to, pivot your attention to. Fortunately, I trade natural gas, and as natural gas was already very bearish, meaning that it was selling off. So when the market began to aggressively sell off, it only created more volatility for natural gas in comparison to UGAS and DGAS. So altogether, as of right now, my biggest struggle this week for trading was the inconsistency of direction. And the reason that I'm sharing this with you is I want you to do a self-evaluation in your trading week this week and your trading weeks prior as well. And think back to when you performed very well and maybe when you didn't, and ask yourself if direction and consistency played a role. It's much easier. It's not easy, but it's much easier to obviously make money when direction is in your favor. And when direction is not consistent and the overall direction is unclear, I have found it for myself to either be very careful with my position size. So to not go in very aggressive. So an example could be if you trade with $1,000, instead of going in at $1,000 with an open trade when direction is unclear, to go in with $50 or again $100, a fraction of what you normally do, because by going in when the direction is unclear, it comes at a greater risk. So you want to make sure that you don't put yourself in an uncomfortable situation when you can simply hold back, ultimately wait for the actual confirmation for direction to be more clear. But that's really just it. Again, I'm a big believer in thinking that, it's the very simple things in life that people tend to overcomplicate, and the stock market is no exception. I think by revisiting and reevaluating ourselves every single week, and regardless if we perform well or bad, being able to try to make sense of why we performed well or maybe why we didn't, an effort to just get one step closer to our overall goal, and it's being that much more consistent. One of the things that I do want to answer is, although these past 2 weeks have been extremely successful for me as a day trader, it doesn't come easy. And I think it really comes back to every day that I woke up, years ago, when it comes down to I was learning how to trade, I was focusing on just learning. And this is something that I feel like a lot of people, as they're getting started, look over, right? If you're simply taking time now, more now than ever before, because you have the time and you want to learn how to trade, please understand that the stock market is not an easy market to be successful in. It's not impossible, but again, it's not easy. And all it means is that just like anything worth learning more about, it takes time to learn how to trade in the stock market. So as you're just getting started, please do yourself a service and don't focus on making a profit. As you're learning how to drive, are you really trying to drive to make money? No, you're learning how to drive. So later down the road, if you end up wanting to pursue to become a professional driver, then yeah, of course that's something that you can partake. I know that might be a horrible analogy, but at the end of the day, think about it when you're learning how to trade. You should focus on the learning aspect, what to do, what not to do, rather than trying to make money every single time that you enter a trade. If you're so much more focused on what's actually important, and that's the actual trade opportunity and understanding what you are doing, you will most likely, even if you do end up making a mistake, you'll be able to learn from it rather than take a loss, be upset, be discouraged, and then never want to do this again. If you focus on learning how to trade, and again, that's where your mental state is at, emotionally, and again, overall, I hope that ultimately you can control what it is that you're doing, which opportunities are actually worth trading, and which ones are not. But again, you have to stick to that core principle of learning how to trade in comparison to trying to make money. Of course, along the way, if you end up making money as you're learning how to trade, I just think that that's the nice little cherry on top, but it doesn't mean that that's something that you simply have to focus on, especially when you're just getting started. You can learn how to trade and you can practice everything that you're learning on YouTube if you're enrolled in a course. You can practice with trading on demand, paper trading, simulation trading. There's so many ways, more now than ever before, on how you can begin to learn for free and test everything that you are learning until it works for you. There's no such thing as a perfect working system, and it simply just means that you need to take time to figure things out on your own. Oh my God, I know it sounds horrible, it sounds so difficult, but yes, it means that there's nothing wrong with, if you watch my live trading sessions and you like some things that I do, but maybe you don't like others, at the end of the day, cherry pick the series of best practices that you find attractive about my trading style and test them out. And if they work well for you, great. If they don't work well for you, then figure it out until you find something that does work well for you. And again, at the end of the day, we're here to be problem solvers, not to be problems. So as you have this extra time, more now than ever before, take time to learn about markets that you are interested. I really do appreciate you guys' time. Don't forget to stay connected. We are the largest YouTube channel and the largest private Facebook group in the world for those that day trade in the stock market. And if you guys want to stay connected with our Facebook group, that's going to be the first link down below. We do have over 250,000 members on Facebook, so we would love to stay connected as well. We did end up extending our Learn Plan Profit sale. It's going to be $40 off the Learn Plan Profit course. If you guys like my videos on YouTube and would like to watch me trade live as soon as Monday, again, be sure to click that second link down below. You'll receive $40 off the course when it is that you are ready, and we'll see you guys at Market Open for our live trading session. Don't forget to smash that like button. Feel free to share any of your thoughts down in the comment section, and like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.